Not me so much. Yeah, I lose it at desk. They get to go out and have fun, and I write.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Every once in a while,
We could just leave this one little spot so we could fit our notes there.
Okay, sure.
Great.
plus we live in Evacuation. Evacuation warning. I got a fire engine parked in my driveway. It's good.
Almost looks like she's going with smoke.
Thank you.
Me and my bud.
Down that hallway, that door is locked, but if you go through the office here, someone should go on the left.
You know, I work at the science file, by the way, with the county. Yeah. Is it possible for me to edit and upload my video from somewhere in here? Like, Wi-Fi and a cable?
You don't have Wi-Fi.
Okay. I mean, I can just go back to the ESP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how our network works. We have still cables we could plug in, maybe.
Okay.
Cable.
Yeah, let me check. I might have an adapter. So if you have an Ethernet cable. Cool.
Yeah, I think we could find somewhere. There's a conference room in the far back corner.
Okay.
That's kind of where everyone's plugging in.
Cool. Yeah, I should only be like a half hour.
Okay.
Thanks.
I could put a mic stand there, but actually I think I'm okay now because I got it in the bottom there. I could put a mic stand. That'd be kind of rude because you guys don't have yours on them.
Oh yeah, he's here. You go there. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. No, he's doing fine. He got a couple hours sleep last night. He's like coming down with something. So it's something good. Cool. Yes, I can cut it out by interview. They said they may have a workstation. They were saying this is mainly going to be a Whittier, but that they will.
I don't know. They all have their microphones.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Thanks.
There you go, yeah.
When I come back here to speak to the map, those will pick me up from here, right? I think so. That's the 2-minute warning. We'll start in 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Better? Yeah, I moved it back a little. Okay, perfect. No.
That's all right. I think I'll be able to.
Well, yeah, you guys yell. Talk loud, okay? Scott, Eric, talk loud.
Just talk loud.
Okay, we're gonna start. The PA's up. Speak loud, please. Okay, we're ready to start here. All right, good morning, you guys, or afternoon. Thanks for coming. This is a information briefing for the Whittier Fire that's burning up the hill here, and we're also going to, we have a CAL FIRE representative here to Deputy Chief Scott Jalbert's going to talk about a little bit about the Alamo Fire as well that's burning in the North County. So at this time I'd like to bring up Deputy Chief Jim Harris from Los Padres National Forest.
Good afternoon. So I have a little fire update for the Whittier Fire, which started yesterday afternoon, about 1:30 in the afternoon. We just finished a transition briefing for California Incident Management Team 3, Mark Vontillo. He'll be taking over the incident, transitioning with our local forces sometime this evening, probably around 1800. The fire started yesterday during the peak of the heat wave. It was about 110 degrees in the area, and quickly grew to the current size estimated of 7,800 acres. It's been a rough fight. We have approximately 5% containment. The fire is burning in an area that hasn't burnt in probably 60 years or older in some cases, and the area has been affected by our drought for the last 5 years, which has been the most severe in California's history. We did have good rain this last winter, which has brought an abundant grass crop, but did not relieve the tree mortality and drought-stressed fields. Let's hold on for 1 second. So yesterday, immediately near the point of origin, when the first responders showed on scene, we had an immediate threat to life and property, and the resources responded, focused on evacuations and rescue. So the fire was able to get established, but our responders did a great job with the first priority of public safety. So all those evacuees were evacuated unharmed. The fire, like I said, it started off Highway 154, approximately across from Lake Cachuma. It was spreading easterly direction with the upriver winds, and at some point near the evening, the fire shifted and burned upslope across the Camino Cielo, which is the ridgeline on top of the San Ynez Range, and is in the front country, so it's highly visible to Goleta and Santa Barbara, and that's the fire we can see from this side of the mountain. That fire is going to continue to back down the mountain. Last year we had the Sherpa fire off here near Refugio to the west side of the range. That's going to act as a good barrier for us, keeping the spread from going any farther west. And in 2006 we had the Gap fire on the eastern perimeter of this fire, and that's going to act as a good buffer for this fire spreading any to the east. So we have those barriers, but fire, unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot of barriers between there, and fire is going to back down. The difference with this fire and those other fires is those were wind-driven sundowner fires. We have a normal diurnal weather pattern, so we're going to have onshore winds, which should help this fire back down and not run off the mountain like we've seen in previous incidents. On the back side of the mountain, like I said, this lack of fire history is going to continue to be a challenge for us. This is all old growth, chaparral, and heavy tree mortality with the oaks on both sides. So that's going to be wind affected every afternoon with those onshore upriver winds. And so we have two different fire environments that we're going to be working. Resource challenges, we have other fires in the area and throughout the state. So we've been having a critical need with hotshot crews and Type 3 engines in particular. Those are coming, but they're few and far between, so our local resources have been battling it out. Most of the stuff that was on initial attack is still out there now, while we're waiting for help to come in and give us relief. Aviation-wise, Santa Maria Air Tanker Base, which is just a short flight away, has been huge in helping us minimize the spread. We've had great success with them with the turnaround, and last night we engaged the night Forest Service helicopter, which is in South Ops or Southern California. We had the night air attack, which helped us with recon and mapping, and was a huge asset. So we'll continue to apply that aviation tactics where appropriate, night and day. And that's all I have for the current situation. I'll be available afterwards for questions.
Thanks, Chief. Yeah, I wanted to mention, let's hold all questions till the end, and all the agency representatives will be available for questions then. At this time, I'd like to bring up Fire Chief Eric Peterson, Santa Barbara County.
Thank you, Dave. Welcome, everybody. I'm Eric Peterson, Santa Barbara County Fire Chief. I wanted to begin by talking a little bit. Chief Harris mentioned this rescue that happened, evacuation rescue that happened yesterday. It's a pretty big deal. I wanted to make sure we emphasize exactly what happened yesterday. We had amazing coordination with Los Padres National Forest personnel, Santa Barbara County Fire personnel, and Sheriff's Department personnel, search and rescue people. When those crews got in there last night, or early afternoon yesterday, they were quickly overrun by fire. That fuel, as Jimmy mentioned, hadn't burned for 62 years, we figured out today. So it went off, and those crews were quickly outflanked by those flames, and they also quickly discovered that there were a lot of people back in that camp. The lion's share of the 200 plus people were evacuated almost immediately, but there were 80 children trapped in a bunker or in a barracks back in the back of that campground in Rancho Alegre. They were trapped because the road was completely enveloped in flame, and there were trees falling down across the road, and there was really just no way to get them out of there. So we had fire personnel, we had sheriff's personnel, and Los Padres National Forest personnel all back there keeping those kids safe, and they rode it out with them for hours, literally hours, until it was safe enough to get them out of there. So it's really a great story. That part of this story, it really wasn't an evacuation, it really was a rescue. So I just wanted to make sure people understood that. We're proud of it. I want to talk a little bit about what this fire is doing right now. As Chief Harris mentioned, it's backing. It's a backing fire right now. It's not doing what the Gap did. It's not doing what the paint fire did. It's a fuel-driven backing fire. It's not a wind-driven fire. Big difference. I can't guarantee you that it's not going to become a wind-driven fire, but right now that's what it's doing. The weather, as you have noticed, I'm sure, is working to our advantage right now. So we're not seeing these big runs as some of those big fires we've seen in the past. It's kind of just punking along up there, it runs down, and then it runs back up. What we've done here is I want to just make sure everybody understands all our fire stations are staffed, fully staffed, and on top of that, we've ordered up for the front country alone 10 strike teams of Type 1 fire engines. Those are the larger, sort of more urban fire engines, and 10 strike teams in layman's terms is 50 fire trucks. So 50 fire trucks and leadership are going to be dispersed. They're dispersed now over there in that western edge of Goleta, and they are making their presence known up in those canyons and up and around all those structures up there, Rancho del Ciervo, Winchester, Farron Road. We're up there, and in case that fire does come running down, we do have a lot of equipment up there to meet that threat. So right now our concerns are Los Veras Canyon, all the way over to Winchester and Elwood. We have the right people, we have the right equipment, and I believe we put it in the right place. I really believe that everything that can be done is being done. And right now I want to introduce my partner in Unified Command, CAL FIRE Chief Scott Jalbert.
Good afternoon, Scott Jalbert. I'm the unit chief for the San Luis Obispo unit, and I'm going to give you an update on the Alamo Fire. Fire started on July 6th, and as of this morning, it was 23,867 acres with 10% containment. Firefighters are making good progress on the northern and eastern sides of the fire. Currently, we have 133 structures threatened and evacuated. And the good news is at this point, we've not lost any structures to the fire. The fire is burning in very steep and inaccessible terrain. Our firefighters are experiencing very dangerous and critical fire behavior. In some cases, the fire is spotting a 1.5 mile ahead of itself. Because of the conditions, we activated a CAL FIRE incident management team, team number 1, under the leadership of Brett Gavea. He's in command of the incident, and so far the incident's cost $3.4 million. We are in unified command with the U.S. Forest Service, Los Padres National Forest, and the Santa Barbara County Fire Department. We're making sure that we have very good coordination due to the close proximity of the Whittier Fire. So we're doing that to make sure that we can share resources. We're sharing air resources and ground resources as priorities change throughout the 2 incidents. Our main concerns on that fire, we have evacuations and closures to the Tepesque Canyon, Blazing Saddles Road, Buckhorn Road, Santa Maria Mesa Road, White Rock Canyon, Colson Canyon, and Highway 166 still remains closed. And I'll be available for any questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I'd like to bring up Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown.
Thank you, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sheriff Bill Brown. I'm here today to tell you about the evacuation situation on both the Alamo Fire and the Whittier Fire. Starting first with the Whittier Fire, we estimate that approximately 3,500 people have been evacuated as a result of this fire, about 200 for the Alamo Fire. With respect to the Whittier Fire, those evacuations were done very rapidly, and some of them quite difficult under the circumstances. We had a full campground at Lake Cachuma. We had Live Oak Campground and Paradise Road campgrounds, which were all pretty full. The evacuations were carried out in a very orderly manner. And I also wanted to draw your attention to some of the dramatic events, particularly at the Circle V ranch, where the young people, as was mentioned by Chief Peterson, were rescued by firefighters after a number of attempts were made to get to them by firefighters and by sheriff's deputies. One of which was pretty dramatic and actually resulted in the loss of one of our patrol vehicles when some kind of burning ember or branch got sucked into the vehicle's air dam, and then when the vehicle got back down to the roadway, it ended up erupting in flames. But we're happy to say that all of those people were evacuated, and I want to say especially appreciation to the San Ynez Band of Chumash Indians who sent one of their buses, a large bus, to evacuate those young people from that camp and brought them back to the San Ynez Mission to reunite them with their parents. For the Whittier Fire, the following areas have been issued a mandatory evacuation order. Those consist of Highway 154 from Armour Ranch to Paradise Roads, Farron Road to Winchester Canyon in the Goleta area. All of the campgrounds off of Highway 154 have been evacuated, and Highway 154 itself is closed from Highway 246 to the Foothill Cathedral Oaks area. It is anticipated that Highway 154 is going to remain closed for several days. No one should be in that area except for public safety responders. And if you are in the mandatory evacuation area, it means that it has been determined that there is an existing or imminent threat to life and or property, and you should leave that area immediately. The Sheriff's Office has deputies who will be patrolling the evacuation areas to ensure that there are no security issues. The following areas are under evacuation warning, which is a pre-stage to an actual evacuation order, and they include Las Varas Canyon east to Winchester Canyon, Highway 101 north to Camino Cielo, to West Camino Cielo, Paradise Road from 154 to the very first river crossing. If you're in an evacuation warning zone, it means there's a strong likelihood that you are in a location that could be threatened, and you should be prepared to leave in a moment's notice. That means that now is the time to gather your family, your pets, your irreplaceable valuables, your documents, prescriptions, any items that you can't be without. And you should be thinking about what items you would want to take with you if you're ordered to leave. Do not wait until the last minute to get prepared. Now is the time to do that, just in case. Also, if you are in an evacuation warning area and you have special needs, you should leave now. And if you have large animals, they should be evacuated now. For any animal evacuation questions and offers of assistance, please call the Animal Services Hotline at 805-681-4332. 681-4332. There are also 2 American Red Cross shelters that are open for evacuees from the Whittier Fire. One of those is at San Marcos High School, and the other is at the Santa Ynez Elementary School. And we appreciate the cooperation that the Red Cross has provided, and all of the volunteers who have assisted or are continuing to assist in evacuation preparation. For the Alamo Fire, again, approximately 200 people have been evacuated thus far. An evacuation order remains in effect from Tepesquay Canyon, from Blazing Saddle Drive to Santa Maria Mesa Road, White Rock Lane, and Colson Canyon, Pine Canyon, and Buckhorn Ridge. A Red Cross shelter is located at the Menominee Community Center, located at 600 Enos, E-N-O-S, Street in Santa Maria. Large and small animals are not allowed at that center, but again, they can be taken care of by calling the Animal Services Hotline. And the Red Cross number for questions or further information related to either shelter is 805-272-0029. And for the Alamo Fire, any large animals can be brought to the Elks Unocal Event Center in Santa Maria for temporary holding. I want to thank again, the contingent of volunteers, of deputies, of our search and rescue people, everyone who has been handling the evacuations or supporting the people who have been evacuated and making sure that the notifications are continued to be made. I want to also thank our dispatchers, Santa Barbara County dispatchers who dispatch both law and fire. They've been extremely busy because of a large volume of calls that they've been handling and doing a superb job. Please know that we do not issue evacuation orders or warnings unnecessarily, and if you are given the order to evacuate, please do so immediately, and if you're warned, please take steps to be prepared to go on a moment's notice as well. We will continue to keep you updated on evacuation orders, and we ask that everyone please plan ahead during this situation. Thank you.
So we'll bring all the speakers up right now, and if you have any questions, they'll decide who is best appropriate or most appropriate to answer that question. Okay?
Whoever can answer this one, we have 20 structures that have been destroyed. Can you tell us where those structures are, what they are, and have you been able to go in and assess the damage in those areas?
I'll take that. Currently, right now, the structures that we're talking about that were damaged or lost are going to be in the Rancho Alegre area and the Whittier Camp area, and I believe a little bit on the St. Francis Ranch, which is to the east of both of those by 2 canyons. We're currently still doing an assessment to see exactly what has been damaged and what has been burnt. We tried to get in last night. It was still a little too dangerous with all the trees falling, so that's ongoing, and we'll get a better number probably tomorrow for you exactly where they're at.
And the the structures that are threatened, which areas are those in again?
So the structures that are threatened currently are now on the end of Farron Road and up some of these front country canyons, but they're under a warning, except for Farron is under a mandatory.
Okay, and can you reiterate the evacuation warning areas again?
The evacuation, the warnings, the warnings include Las Varas Canyon east to Winchester Canyon, Highway 101 north to West Camino Cielo, Paradise Road from 154 to the first river crossing, and then, as mentioned, Farron Road was upgraded from a warning to a mandatory evacuation.
What's the status of the broadcast facilities on Broadcast Peak and San Ynez Peak?
The status currently is that the fire is bumping it right now. We have been putting some aerial retardant up there to secure it, but it's sort of backing up to it right now. We don't know the exact status of the repeaters themselves, though.
Is the onshore flow pushing the fire back onto itself, or is the fire further down?
The onshore flow is definitely helping the fire that's coming off of the north side of the San Ynez Ridge, because it's coming up to the ridge and coming back, hence you don't see the smoke down here like we did yesterday.
Any idea about the cause of the Whittier fire?
Cause is still under investigation.
How many crews do you have going on the Whittier Fire? I mean, is the terrain tough up there? Or?
The terrain's very difficult. Right now we have on order 20 crews. There's a lot of competition for resources in the state right now, and so like Chief Jalbert said, we're sharing resources with the Alamo that we can, and we're also trying to get crews off of other fires that are starting to get a handle on.
Is there concern about what may happen this evening again, and if we see more wind or flare up during nighttime hours when we only have maybe one helicopter out?
So you may see some flare-up in certain areas we call the thermal belt, where the warm air gets trapped mid-slope, but there is no sundowner predicted tonight. Last night was the last of it, and it never really did surface.
Can you talk a little bit about the efforts on the south side of the fire and what you're doing to contain it there?
Okay, right now they're assessing this. We're probably going to go back to what we did in the Sherpa. We did some lines down below here. We're putting crews and engines, and we're trying to get some dozers down in here to work with these ranches and figure out where those lines were. We've got a lot of local people that were on these fires that know that country, and so they're scouting that out today to figure out the best possibility.
Are they laying retardant down there as well?
They're not putting any retardant down below here yet. We need to establish the line of defense first.
Another thing you might see is that you won't likely see a lot of fixed wing operations, meaning the large air tankers coming in across the front. It's just not a good application. It's not very effective. What we did in the Sherpa is right here off of Glen Annie, we set up a mobile retardant plant for the helicopters to dip out of and then do precise drops on the fire edge. That's likely the tactic we'll look at to see if that's a good option here in the front country.
When will the next update be on the size and containment?
Probably tomorrow morning at 0600.
How many structures are threatened by the Whittier fire?
Structures-wise, what do we talk about people? Did you say 3,500?
300 were evacuated.
So roughly 2 per, so maybe 1,500 total. Structures and different buildings.
Yeah, probably less than that because a lot of those are campers.
Yeah, a lot of them are campers, and it's not real, it's not a developed neighborhood, so to speak. A lot of rural ranches.
Has any firefighters been injured?
None that I know of today.
Any damage to Lake Cachuma area and all the other campgrounds?
There was some damage to the Lake Cachuma boat area, the rental boat area. We're, again, assessing all that today as we can get back in there now that the fire's cooled down a little bit. We'll have a better number on that tomorrow.
Where's the fire camp being established? Is it going to be at Dos Pueblos?
Yes. Ma'am.
You're addressing structures and other things, but who is addressing health?
Addressing what?
Health.
Health.
Health of the people exposed to the fine particulate that is right now raining down because of the fire.
Guys, I think maybe Gina might be able to answer
Go
that
ahead.
question
Okay.
from County OEM.
Yeah.
So Public Health Department and APCD are working together, and we've issued press releases for a couple days in a row, both North County and South County, English and Spanish. Those releases we're putting out information across social media on countyofsb.org. The press releases are posted there. What Also does on it say? Facebook. What does the Talks about air quality warning and we're health and protecting your health. Tell them to please do not jog, not running, not jogging. Those kinds of suggestions are in the press release about activities outdoors, closing your windows. You know, if you feel that you have more symptoms, certainly to seek medical attention. So all of that is in the press release, both English and Spanish, at countyofsb.org and also on the public health website and also on APCD's website.
Thank you, Gina. Anybody else? I had a question for one of the people in here. Sheriff might be able to answer it. People that had to leave all their camping, their their camping gear and their vehicles. Some had to leave vehicles and campers at Lake Cachuma. Do we know anything about that?
There were a number of people that did elect to just leave their camping materials. And as far as allowing them to come back, that's going to be up to the fire authorities. And then once they tell us that, then we'll probably allow people selectively to come in and gather their belongings.
So once
Same thing for the RVs in storage?
Yes.
No damage yet that you know of?
That storage area, Lake Cachuma, was not part of in the fire area and has not been hit. So.
Good, thanks. Okay. I was asked by Red Cross just to remind everybody that all 3 shelters that are open now are going to remain open. So I want everybody, all the people, to know that. Okay. Thank you for all coming today. Don't have another news conference scheduled, but we will certainly let you know when we do, if we do. Thank you.
Yeah, just let us know when you think it's okay. Yeah. Well, thanks. Actually, ask somebody what the left. I think that's something yeah. Okay. Good person to talk about I gotta see what's help with it.
All right. So real quick before they call. Just him? Hey, Gina wants to hit you up again.
Yeah, nice
for another video.
But anyone just here that can just tell us, what is there.
So it's the 250 kV line that feeds all of the Central Coast. So that's a huge gravity.
It would probably be.
So that's the issue. We've had it on all of the front country fires in the past.
Yeah. All right.
They can't really be energized just because it has such an effect on the whole Central Coast. Right. He's not talking about
Come up with another.
for doing it away from him.
Yeah. Try to.
Yeah, well, I've done that.
And so what is that relation to the 66?